Start over here to the left, Larry.
How about the scoring run that JU is on here? 3 receiving touchdowns in 3 games. Why it's happening and how much of a weapon he is for you guys?
Well, I would really say J.U. Chesson, Jake Butt, Jake Rudock, Harbaugh. Those 4 I think are playing as well as anybody in the Big Ten Conference as a group, and all 4 of those deserve any success or accolades, performance that they're achieving, because they've really earned it all 4 with their work ethic, with their dedication to being good, and their seriousness about winning and winning performance at a very high level. Just wonderful, wonderful, and they deserve it because they've worked extremely hard for it.
Jim, you said on Saturday that you thought that JU kind of looked like an NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you think that earlier in the year? I mean, what kind of changed where you were now thinking he can play at the next level?
Oh, just the constant improvement in all phases of his game. I think the one thing he's improving at, and the final piece is tracking the deep ball. But you watch him run, you watch him catch, you watch him block, cover kicks, the way he plays in all phases. And now the deep ball, tracking that is really coming along well, and you see it improving. I think that's the final piece that he's acquiring now.
Stay on the left here, John.
Thoughts on a second straight road game and the challenge that Penn State presents?
Acknowledge that it's our second straight road game, and fully aware of that. Challenge that Penn State presents is a big challenge, and our team will be prepared for it this week. Outstanding defense, offensively a heck of a quarterback, outstanding running back, receivers that are outstanding. So acknowledge both of those things.
In the middle here, Matt.
Formidable task, and it is a road game.
Coach, because you're beat up, especially on the defensive line a little bit, you approach this week.
I'm not walking around beat up.
Well, I
mean, been beat up that I know of.
Well, physically, okay, some guys
No,
maybe
no,
dipping into the depth chart a little bit more.
No. You know something I don't know? We got to bounce in our step. We're ready to go.
This late in the season, when it takes its toll on student athletes, do you go about your practices? Do you approach things differently during practice because of the wear and tear that the season takes?
Yeah, to me, I mean, just back to your original premise, I think the student athletes have a bounce in their step, and they're ready to attack the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
To the front, Mark.
Why didn't Derek Green travel? Is that performance, or is that an injury?
He's working through something that he got in the last game.
Do you expect that that's a long-term thing?
We'll see. I haven't seen Derek today yet, but we'll see where he's at physically today.
In the back, Joe.
Jim, Joe from the ABC station in Toledo. This one's a little off the wall.
Hello, Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo, yeah. Wondering if you have any memories, or your parents have shared any memories with you about your first house in the Toledo area.
And just we were living in Perrysburg. My dad was the head football coach at Perrysburg High School. Both my brother and I were born there. We have driven by the house that we lived at in Perrysburg, but it's been quite some time. Most of the time growing up here in Ann Arbor or in Iowa, we'd always drive back to Ohio, Crestline, or Cleveland. That's where my grandparents lived, and all our uncles and aunts and relatives, etc. So the stories were always when we'd buy. And there's the Maumee River. This is where you guys were born near here in Perrysburg, and sometimes we were little, they'd drive us by where we lived. That was always, it always happened either way we were going, whatever direction we were driving to or coming home. We'd talk about that. And, was it Jim Leland?
Yeah.
In Perrysburg, and Jerry Glanville. Those kind of stories. Is that good enough for your story?
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're proud though. Brother John and I are proud to be born in Perrysburg, Ohio.
To the right in the middle, Nick.
Jim, you guys played a lot of snaps defensively. Do you feel like Royce Jenkinson had one of his better games against Indiana?
Yeah, I mean he was fighting a battle, and he won some and lost some of the battles, and it was everybody on our defensive front. Going to watch the game, refit, retool, regroup, and see how we can improve in that area. But no doubt the fellas are battling up front.
We're going to go around the front to Mark.
Sorry, was there a common theme between the penalties when you watched them on film? I mean, something that was wrong technique-wise or something, or was it some of the calls questionable?
The ones on us, penalties on us?
Yeah, 13 or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of false starts. We figure out ways to jump off sides. Is probably the biggest in terms of theme.
Yeah. Was mental issues or physical issues more?
Yeah, I don't know what the physical would be that I'm aware of. Not aware that there's any physical issue leading to a false start. Are you?
They're just trying to time it or whatever. Is that
Are you talking about defensively?
No, your
Or
guys.
offensively?
Offensively. I mean, like why are they jumping? I mean, sort of.
Well, we had three on defense, and however we had on offense seemed like three or four. Yeah, I think that. 5 out of the 6 call them mental, and the 6th, Joe Bolden, looked like he was trying to time up the snap, which he didn't accomplish.
Directly in front of you, Mike.
Jim, the last 3, you mentioned the run defense, the last 3 games, teams have had a little bit more success running the football on you than they had previously. Is there something that you've seen that defensively out of your group that you want to change immediately, something that other teams are starting to pick up on?
We're looking at it. We're looking at all those ways. I mean, and we have some ideas, but why stand up here and tell you? You're liable to go tell somebody else. So probably we just keep that to ourselves.
Go right next to him, John.
As well as
Be the best, of course.
as well as the defense has played for most of this year, is it any kind of a head scratcher to you that you got 9 takeaways with 1 fumble recovery?
Yeah, would certainly like to have more turnovers. You got to attack it. It's, energy, ball finds energy, so we need more of that. That's the first place we'll keep coaching and keep striving for. But we definitely want more turnovers.
In the middle, Steve.
Hey, Jim, you mentioned after the game that Jake Rudock doesn't flinch. Is that something that from the day one he's had, or is that something that he's developed this season?
Yeah, he's had that. He came here with that. He's got great parents. I told his dad, I mean, it's the old saying that the branch doesn't fall too far from the tree. He's been raised really good. All those good things, smart, composed, talented, tough,
One last
confident.
thing.
He's got all those things that make up that kind of reaction to pressure and adversity.
He seems to turn the page really well, whether it was a bad play or a great play. If you could address that as well, talk about that.
Well, just I can only agree with you. I can't disagree. I can only agree and concur that it's wonderful part of his personality, you know, and his makeup. And you know, as a team member, you know, you're really showered by guys' attributes, you know, and you know, you really try to pick out the ones that do the best job in a certain area, whether it's their work ethic, whether they're you know, their ability to overcome adversity, or you know, their toughness, their strength, and you know, you just try to emulate those kind of guys. Pick a guy here, pick a guy there, who does it the best, and try to incorporate that into your own game. You know, use it as an example. And you know, Jake is as good as they come when it comes to things you're talking about. And myself, I mean, I look at him and go, yeah, I'm looking more like Jake. You know, it's working really well for him. See if I can't incorporate that into my own game, my own personality. So can learn a lot by just watching people, observing them.
Go all the way over to your right, Coach, Dan.
Looked like Mulhurst and Willie Henry played a lot without Glasgow available this week. Do you expect them to continue playing that many snaps? You want to try to work more guys in there?
Well, we're working guys in there. Henry Poggi is now a two-way player. Tom Strobel is a two-way player, and he played quite a few snaps toward the end of the ball game and gave us some good snaps there. And continue to try to prop that up from a depth standpoint.
Come back over right in front of you, Mike.
Jim, how close, I mean, we obviously saw the big plays on Saturday in the passing game. How close was Jake and the receivers to executing that before Saturday?
Close. I think you saw it a few times in earlier games.
And what was the difference on Saturday?
I don't know, sometimes it's just not a big difference. You know, sometimes it could just be a matter of inches or feet. What does water boil at? 211? 212 it boils, 211 it doesn't. You know, it's 213. What's the magic number? I mean, sometimes it's close. I would agree it's been close, and now it's boiling. It's good. Bodes well for us.
Front left here, Chris.
Two things. Brian Monet was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week injury. Is there any chance that you might be able to come back and use him out there, or is he done for the year for sure?
That's possible.
And then Ian Bunting, I don't think we've seen him lately.
Yeah, he's here.
Is he healthy? Has he been playing?
He's healthy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You good now?
Well, I'm good if you're good.
Yeah. I'm good if Ian's good. You know, if the players are good, I'm good.
All right.
Middle left there, Adam.
I think you said something after the game about drawing up the stop and go and double overtime in the dirt. Is that something that was in the playbook that you tweaked, or was that completely new?
We practiced it before. And we have the play call, and we've repped it in training camp. We've repped it during weeks of practice. It wasn't something that was in the game plan, you know, on the call sheet. But we'd hit 3 curls earlier in the game. Jed Fish from the box wanted it, suggested it, dialed it up, and I was hesitant to call it because we hadn't practiced it this past week, you know, in the days leading up to the game in our preparation. But you know, I'm like Abraham. I'm going to die leaning on our coaches. You know, I'm like Abraham. I'm going to die leaning on my staff. I think is the way Abraham said it. But I'm going to die leaning on my staff too, and trust Jen what he was seeing, and the rest is history. Walk off overtime touchdown pass. I guess that wouldn't technically be a walk off, would it? Because we had to play the bottom half of the inning.